video weblog, second video take. Today is the 7th day of October 2015. It has been almost a week since a mass murder shooting out in the state of Oregon, perpetrated by a young adult who the other day, via the CBS News website, was it revealed that this young adult had Asperger's syndrome type autism. The issue is that, that persons on the autism spectrum are by and large not violent. But the issue is with this particular young adult was that just exactly like the mass murderer shooter, was it Adam Lanza several years ago, who shot up a elementary school, who also had Asperger's syndrome. The issue is that the mother of this young adult in Oregon is also one of those, adults who is totally nuts about having lots and lots of firearms, and is into all this totally bogus, anti-government conspiracy theory stuff, and this stuff too played a role in shaping the twisted mindset of this young adult with Asperger's syndrome out in Oregon, who perpetrated this mass shooting last week. And the fact that this young adult has had Asperger's syndrome type autism also has essentially further stigmatized us adults with Asperger's syndrome type autism, or what is now known in the DSM-5 manual of psychiatric disorders as autism level 1. Many people are thinking that are just simply thinking that all persons with Asperger's syndrome are total fruitcakes, and that we're all potential mass murderers, which is a total lie. I'm 57 years old. Yes, I play the Hasbro Nerf toy guns, but am I going to go out with it, go out and shoot off all kinds of people? That answer is no. And want to know why? Because I had two parents who, even though one had serious mental illness issues, at least made the effort, some effort to distill right versus wrong. And this young adult out in Oregon, was just simply kept with his mother, who herself, I do not consider to be mentally stable because of her obsession with firearms. And the fact that she is bought into all of this right-wing National Rifle Association, conspiracy theories that the government is going to go Nazi and take away everybody's guns. That's not true. The issue is that this woman should not have had guns in the home in the first place when you have a child with a developmental disability. You just do not do that. Period. People out there who are listening to me right now, have to, open up your damn ears and listen. You never, ever, ever have guns in the home. Especially when you have children or young adults who are with developmental disabilities, who are dependent. It is just simply common sense. And people complain that a person like me with Asperger's syndrome has no common sense. I learned common sense the hard way. Well, anyways, that earlier today, while I was out at the Market Basket supermarket, I overheard another lady in a checkout line, where I was paying for my own small amount of groceries, saying that that because that persons with Asperger's syndrome should all be, the cops should just simply round us all up and haul us away and prison us for good, even if we've never done anything. But that is an extremist point of view which does not help us adults with disabilities and people with the autism spectrum, Asperger's syndrome, or other forms of autism, like autism levels 2 to level 5. That to be able to have the correct social supports, the correct and other things that we need, housing and financial supports and so forth that we require to live out in the community. In other words, people are becoming doing a knee-jerk reaction where they're becoming scared shitless. Wanting to impose, extremist measures, on an entire class of people, which is me, which I'm a part of, because I'm in the autism community. And because of some autistic, who was in a family situation which he should never have been in the first place. You know, with it, where the mother, yes, the mother's still alive. You know, that unlike the Newtown shooting, where the Asperger autism young adult flew away his mother, then went over to the school and flew away 30 other kids. 30 kids, that this time, the mother, that I believe should be prosecuted for essentially having the environment where this kid was guaranteed to just simply up and snap because she did the wrong things, guns in the home. Also, she did not even make the effort to try to find proper adult social services for her son, such as adult social groups for adults on the autism spectrum, where they can go to develop friendships. Also, she did not make the effort to, okay, this young adult does have the potential to become employed. That why was the kid not even referred to the Oregon State Department of Vocational Rehabilitation for the Disabled, where he could have been helped, with it, and where if he needed other services, they would have helped to point him in the right direction, where to go, where he would be able to successfully live in the community as a functional adult. That never happened. It was totally that young adult committed this mass murder a week ago, who had Asperger's syndrome, that totally fell through the cracks. That what's also was that this young adult, that was not receiving the other services such as mental health care services, which he needed, in order to be able to learn how to cope with his autism spectrum disability. And that is important. That because that I'm of the older generation, and I never received the services, but that I turned out okay. But we have a tsunami of young people who are going to be exiting schools and out of their individual educational plans, who need the supports and the social gathering places where they can be to be safe and to have the social and to develop true positive social networks that will enable them to live out in the community successfully. And we have an attitude in this country right now where many politicians say, we don't need any of that stuff. To hell with that stuff. That if a person can't function in the community, to hell with them, or to hell with her. You know, let the parents take care of the kid, or okay, let the churches do it all. You know, but that is the wrong answer, totally the wrong answer, because, you know, I'm an older adult, and I'm now receiving many of the social benefits of social connections through different agencies, you know, and also networking with other adults on the spectrum, you know, where I have now normal, positive friendships, you know, with it. Unlike this young adult, you know, last week out in Oregon, who just simply totally flipped out and totally with it, totally flipped out with it, just did what he did. You know, because I have with it things like the Asperger Autism Network, where, you know, that I can go down to an adult social night, you know, with it, you know, down in Watertown, Massachusetts, you know, with it. You know, coming up this month is going to be the Asperger Autism Network's Adult Halloween Party. And I look forward. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, because I could be, with it being my wolf fursuit costume, you know, which I like. Plus also there's the other groups, you know, that belong to, such as the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, you know, which was founded by Ari Neiman, who was presently serving on the National Council on Disability in the Obama administration, you know, which does things like acts on the issues of civil rights for us persons on the autism spectrum. There are also other groups such as ADAPT, which was a civil rights group, you know, which it's a you know, that where a person with disabilities can work to better this world. There are also places like, you know, that I'm not sure what this kid had with the problem with it, you know, with it being down on and hating organized religion. And the issue is, you know, with it, is that I myself had those feelings years ago. But what am I? I'm a member of a church. I had served for 6 years as a deacon elder of that same church. You know, with it? And I have positive social connections there, where I have a positive outlet for my own, you know, with it, energies, you know, with it, and it with it is doing something, not just for myself, but doing something for other people, you know, that, and that is the key, you know, that, you know, with it, you know, if you're having issues with depression, you know, that, you know, you got to have, you know, the connections, positive social connections, and the only way you can make them is that you have to, with it, change your thinking, and that you have to say, yes, I can, and you just have to, with it, go out and do it. Because if you don't, or do not, then you're going to spiral into something like, then with if you have a mental illness issues, then you're going to go spiral into what happened with it out in Oregon. or was it, or any other type of, was it bad outcome? Well, I'm sorry. I just want to get these issues, these thoughts, out there, because, this is part of how I think and feel about living with my autism spectrum disability that I have lived with all my life. Of course, I also have the issue of cerebral palsy, with it. And, of course, the key there, too, with it is also that they have, this go out and do things, with it. And just with it, even though it may be difficult to get out in the community, you have to make the effort. Because then, with it, you're not just helping other people, you are helping yourself. I'll just sign off on this video webinar this evening.